Alright, as you can see, I've already separated all the colors into 3 sections. All the whites, all the blue, red, and yellow. Very little red and yellow, as you can see here. And all the charcoal parts, which amazingly is 3 times the amount of parts that I have ever seen on a kit, on a master grade kit before. I've always seen a lot of charcoal parts, but never this amount. Obviously, because of the fact that in reality, when you look at the 00 riser, it's actually 2 units, two different vehicles. You have, of course, the 00 Gundam and the O riser, the aircraft. And of course, when you merge them together, it forms the 00 riser. So, at this moment, I'm going to spend time on removing all the excessive plastic parts that's on these parts. As you can see here, give you a little light. As you can see there's a part right there that I need to chop off and sand down. These will be easy to do. It's the blue, the red, and the yellow, and the white that I need to carefully remove and sand it down very nice, so that way I can remove any forms of scar marks. So then they will be primed and then painted on the standard colors. Now there are certain parts that I did not remove from the tray, kind of like the clear green, as you can see here and here. I'll remove them when the time comes, but there's no reason for me to remove them since I'm not going to paint them. Especially these. I don't know. Obviously, I didn't realize that the O riser came with 2 canopy parts. This clear one and this orange one, which is really nice. Obviously, I'm going to go with this one and not the clear one. Although another clear part that I'm not going to remove, it's going to probably be at the end, would be this clear red part here, which looks really nice because it's different than any other clear red. And of course, you got the characters here and whatnot. I did mention before, and I'm going to show it to you. See, I have the LEDs. I'm going to put it off to the side. I'm not going to open it up yet. I'll leave for later. But I did mention that I did plan on ordering more LEDs, and sure enough, I got them. 4 LEDs and the batteries as well. I think I may have to purchase batteries for this, and all I need to do is go into the dollar store and pick it up. So I like to, I should thank the guy from on eBay that I purchased this LEDs, and forgive me if I don't have it. Let's see, I know I have it here someplace. Moi Kai Chung from Mon Kai Chung. He is from Hong Kong. I got it from his eBay website, and thank you for sending this to me quickly, though, because I want to get this ready for the show. So I'll link his page on this video. So if you guys are planning in LEDs, you can go see him. He has good deals and things like that. So anyway, let's prepare this kit. Well, the one thing I like to do, especially during a build, is verifying parts that I can actually put together and have it ready instead of me painting each individual part. Considering the vast amount of plastic that I have here, especially this, which I gotta go and sort through each and every one of them, I have to figure a way to actually reduce the time I paint and more time on building and construction. So for example, I was looking at the actual, what's the actual term for this weapon? I always keep forgetting it. They are called the GN Sword 2. And when I was looking at the actual blade sword gun setup, I kind of said to myself, alright, maybe I should put these 2 together, because then that eliminates the fact that I don't have to paint both sides. However, I came across, looking at the manual, that it requires these parts to be placed in here and then sealed up. So it has the beam of, the actual barrel of beam gun, of the actual, weapon that shows up on both sides of the gun. Great idea, of course, and I like it. My problem is, if I have to paint this, I gotta actually then put a lot of tape on it just so I can paint that little part. So that defeats the purpose of me putting these two blades together. I did have to, like, you know, sand down the edges a bit, so that way when they close down, you know, they won't show any markings. And it'll be nice to glue them down and then seal them up. But I gotta wait until I finish painting off the charcoal. And I have a distinct feeling I have to begin with the charcoal first before I move on to these guys. So I'm gonna prime the charcoal. Well, actually, okay. Looking at the manual, obviously, I'm going to do what I did with the Death Cycle. And I think I can get away with it with this kit. I couldn't get away with it with and I'm sorry, I said Death Cycle. Death Cycle. I couldn't get away with it with the Wing Gundam, where I wanted to build the inner frame first, show it off, and then paint it. I couldn't do that with that other kit. But with this kit, I have a distinct feeling I can't. So I'm going to start working on putting the body, arms, which I think the arms can be put together, but I'm not too sure yet, the legs, the waist, and I even think the, if I'm not mistaken, the backpack, but I could be wrong. Yeah, the backpack does not have a frame where armor can go over it. It's its own individual part. So let's see what this kit looks like with the inner frame fully assembled. With all these charcoal parts here, you think that this will all I need to build, of course, the inner frame of the 00 riser. Well, guess what? I built it. So where the hell did all these parts come from? Obviously, we all know what it is. These are the parts here for the 00, for the O riser and the GN drive. And there's a lot of parts here. I never realized how much is going to be included. And here's the GN condensers, which pretty much doesn't have anything to show for. That's going to be put to the side. I haven't built the GN drives yet because I was wanting to show off the inner frame first. I was also cleaning up all the colored parts because now it's about time for me to start putting these parts into my clippers to begin preparing them for cleaning. But going back to the frame here, and I have to say this frame is really it's big. It's an amazing frame how it's designed. You can't go wrong in the positioning of the arm because these cylinder spaces here is where you want to put the decal of the symbol of the GN drive, or excuse me, the how can I call this? Maybe I should pull it out. Yeah, it's the circular one things right there. So they go in there. Once you put them on, then you got to put the clear parts over it, which of course I'm not going to do because it's going to be painted. Frame is great. It's strong and stable. The leg is amazing. Check this out. Very tight in many ways. Interestingly enough, Prime 92 pointed this out to me that, you know, you can actually turn the waist like that, which is pretty nice. And as you can see, we all know that it has a ball joint, unlike the no grade version. The hands is interesting though. It gives you two types of hands. It gives you, wow, where did that part go? That flew out of nowhere. Alright, I'll find it. It gives you that generic parts forming hand, kind of like reminiscent to the Wing and Death Cycle, but it also gives you the regular finger hands, which the pointer finger cannot be held unless you have the white face plate on it. Excuse me, hand plate on it. So you need to have that on. But I'm not going to put it on because I'm going to paint it. but it is very flexible and very posable, so I kind of like that. The head, of course, I didn't realize that the main portion of the head, which I'm going to zoom in right here, has a clear part on it, and the actual neck that goes all the way down is clear as well. I was wondering why would they have that, and then of course it hit me when you turn it around and look at it. Here is where the LED part will go, so it'll light up to the head and sides and all that stuff. So that's a pretty interesting gimmick to do something like that. I can imagine with enough work you can probably put some fiber optics on it, but I don't have time for that, of course. I'm just going to get ready to take this kit apart now, again, but leaving only the main frame, arms and legs already intact, so that way I can begin priming this kit like this. And now you see the kit fully primed and painted. Well, excuse me, primed. All ready to go. Very nice touch of gray, as you can see here. I know that if you bend it, you do see some of the exposed gray that's inside, but it's not going to have all that done. It's going to be covered up and stuff like that, and I may redo a touch-up again, but this thing will be covered up pretty well. So as you can see now, it is finally primed, and then it's going to be painted. And now here it is, painted dark gray. Let me get the light right here. So as you can see, painted it. I covered the entire aspect of the kit. Dark gray. I'm going to give it another pass. I just want to get a sandpaper and sand down some inconsistencies of the paint. Like here, there's kind of like I guess some sort of weird mark here, which I'm going to sand it down a bit. But I'm only going to repaint on areas that I know that's going to be exposed through the armor, like over here, here, the plates here, this one here, the arms part here as well. I'll have to review, I think, here and that, the back area. Obviously, I think these two parts here could be wrong, but we'll figure it out. I'll just give it another coating, but only on those strategic parts. And obviously, as I was painting all this, I painted everything else. A lot of work, I have to say. A lot of work for all these parts, considering the fact that I'm not even done painting all the charcoal parts. Reason why I'm saying that is, move this back a bit and I'll show you this. These are all the other smaller parts which were going to probably be within the kit, which will not be exposed, so there was no reason for me to paint a part that's going to be inside the kit. And B, it's the hands, but I need to rebuild them again because the fingers, the actual joints here, keep popping off. Plus, some of these parts are so impossible to paint, like this trim here, which, if I'm not mistaken, and I'll give you an example. It was part of one of the... Was it part of the weapon or the arm? Let me check. I know definitely it wasn't from the it wasn't from the GN Sword 3. Oh, yeah, here it is. It was this part. Wait a minute, come to think of it, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's charcoal too. Give me a moment, let's self-discover this. we have this. Work in progress, guys. Just give me a second here. So, oh, okay. Then we can do this. Let me see if I can assemble the frame of the gun, and then I can put these parts together with the gun. The GN Sword 2. You know why I didn't want to do it? Because in the build it will of course incorporate the clear green, and I didn't want to like mask it. I want to make sure I could cover all this. I'm gonna see what I can do to paint it. Like I'm gonna probably put this over tape and then spray it over, so that way it covers the whole thing. So in essence, I have covered one of the 4 primary colors of the 00 Riser. Now I'm going to move on to the next color, which happens to be the white. I'm going to start painting the white parts.